G'day, how you going? This is Brett. This is the first video in our series on omni-channel marketing. Well, what's that? Is it the same as multi-channel marketing? It's probably not in the respect that multi-channel goes from here to there to one channel, from there again to another channel like this sort of thing, whereas omni-channel tends to send them around in a circle and it's all integrated together. And a key cog of that integrated marketing is websites. So today we're going to talk about actually setting up websites as part of your omni-channel marketing. And we're going to go through some examples, and I'll show you the one that I actually use and actually how easy it is to set up on the internet and to set up landing pages and that sort of thing there as well. So the first thing I'm going to do is go through, well, where do you get the content from and that sort of thing? Well, the first thing I'll explain is that I'm looking at the videos here, and it's coming down to that if I'm going to be doing blogs or something like that, I've got these 11 different topics that I'm going to talk about. So if I'm going to talk about updating your website, I'm going to talk about, well, what are the websites? First of all, Wix, WordPress, or an e-commerce website. So that could be Shopify or something like that, but there is actually e-commerce as part of WordPress. But I'm just going to focus on basic information websites. Now, why I prefer to use WordPress is because you can scale it up to an e-commerce website, that sort of thing there as well. In the same way too, a basic information website can sell products, and that's what you can use the free plugins in WordPress to sell some products on your website. But an e-commerce website has got all of the paid functions and that sort of thing in the WooCommerce setup. So if you go and you want to do something and it clicks and it says you've got to upgrade, well, it's a function that would normally be included in an e-commerce website. But you want to get a web developer to set up an e-commerce website for you because you don't want it to crash. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and show you where I got this from. So when you look at the website, this is the home page, and I just don't have anything below the fold, and that's so that it loads really quickly, Google page speed. So I click your marketing done for you, and it goes to this page here. So where I've got the content for the videos is actually coming from this web page here, where this is just the services that we're looking at often. Now, these are just suggested ones, but when we go back to the web page, and you have navigation things, it's a feature in WordPress that you can do. So you can click this, let's talk more, and it takes you back up to the top booking thing there. So you can see that it basically, this is a template that we use, and it's a free template system that we use on WordPress. Okay, so if I'm just looking at doing it, it's as simple as just opens up a library, and it comes up with, you can have templates, you can have blocks, you can create yourself, or it actually has some pages there, loads up. And so it's got these pre-built templates. So you can see that I've actually used for my agency page, agency homepage. So it's actually got some theme ones done up there, there's restaurant ones there and all this sort of stuff. Now, this is where a lot of people, when I talk to them, they talk about using these templates and they try and get around and they stuff around with them and mix them up and this sort of thing. I tend to basically just try and use them as stock standard and then duplicate. So rather than to save time, what I do is I'll just duplicate it, and it will duplicate the text, and then you can pick them up and you can move them around the place. So if I've got this here, I just click on this little pen and I can move that around and add different spots there on the template. So you can just add parts into it. If you don't like a section, like if you don't want this section there, I just click this cross and that gets rid of it. There was actually a slider, which is company logos that I didn't need, that I took out. So you can see that with the different sections, you can do that. You can do some things like, you know, in Microsoft Office, you might have flyaways, that sort of stuff. So when it's looking at the button, you can do things like you can put a shadow on it, like I've done here as well, like you see Google doing. You can also do other stuff like when we go to the advanced stuff, we've got this motion effects. Okay, entrance animation default, it's nothing. So we might say fade in right. Okay, so you can see that it does that. It just creates a bit of motion when people slide down the page, okay? This one's the free one, but the premium ones have all of this sort of stuff set up there already to go. Okay, so that's one of the reasons why I use it. When it's going into the page itself, it's coming into the setup the pages. This is an example of a landing page, and we'll get into that later on. Basically, a landing page doesn't have the menus and stuff like that you see up the top that you'll see on a normal website. So when you go to a website and you scroll down, you'll see that here's the menus and this sort of stuff there as well. If I take you to another page, you'll see that, okay, when you go up, you've got this, you've got the other training areas, you've got this header up here as well. So they actually have to scroll down before they start to see some other things there. Okay, so when we go back to here, we're going to go back and we're going to talk about some of the features. Okay, you see this here. You don't have the option to click on the menus, but what you do have is on a landing page, you've normally got an option to go to the actual website if people want to do that. Okay, so they can click on it if they want to. When you hover over something, the main one you want them to push, you make it so that the button gets bigger when they hold their mouse over it. And that's something there as well. You can see this one, download the business model canvas. You can see how the hands change. So when they click on that, it means that it's going to automatically download the Word document that they want there as well. So they think, oh, well, where is it? And it just looks a little bit better than having the underlined text and that sort of thing. So it's the whole text there as well. That's actually set up in the template. The template doesn't allow you to just highlight one word and put that as the thing to click on. So this is where I've just used it there as well. You can see that this one, okay, a little bit different. I've copied it, but I've taken it off. We've still got the shadow there as well. Okay, then I've got the next part. So I've got FAQ. So this one's a case of see the packages. That's where we're going to go back down to this button here. Okay, and it takes you down to there. It says, let's talk more. It goes back up. Okay, so it goes back to the discovery call. See the setup package. Then you go down to the next one. There's another button here. What I'm doing is I'm basically giving them a little bit more information and then telling them what I want them to do next. And that's a key thing with the landing page is, okay, well, you're trying to guide them through it because some people might want to come on and just book the call. They've come from social media. They know they want to talk to you, so they just book the call. So that's the thing that you want them to do first. The second thing is maybe they're not ready to go. So that's where they want to see the package, okay? This is an example of a landing page you could have for your business. Okay, but this is going to raise check. It's a key part of your omnichannel marketing strategy. What's an omnichannel marketing strategy? Well, okay, well, let's go down to frequently asked questions. So that's below this function here, which is the product that we're looking at selling. Okay, and this is what they call an accordion, which is, again, it's a standard feature that you can put in, and you can put as much text as you like in there as well. I tend to not put a lot of questions, but I'll put some fairly detailed answers in there because I find that some people, they may not have a lot of questions, but a lot of people have the same question. Yeah, again, back to the home page, back to the top if they're looking at doing that sort of thing there as well. Okay, so that's just a quick run through on what I'll be looking at doing with a landing page. We'll get into some other stuff and some more details of the landing pages and that later on. So this is just an example of looking at updating websites. This is something you can do, but you can see how easy it is to update websites, even if you've got an existing WordPress website that's got other theme builders. We can just bolt on this free plugin and we can put that through, and that's what we look at doing, particularly with startups or people that aren't sure whether or not that they need the premium packages and those sort of things too. So we'll go through that. We'll go through sign up forms, Facebook pages, website chats, how you put the little chat into the website. That's a free function now too. This is all part of the omnichannel marketing strategies. So all of this sort of stuff, and then we'll get into creating content and using CRMs or customer relationship management software and all this sort of stuff later in the video. This is where, when you're doing it with a business and you've got this stuff set up, you can basically be doing, the business owner's only got to send you a 10-minute video each week, and that's going to be allow you to develop not only the content for that week, but also the next 2 or 3 weeks as well. So the pressure's not on there on the business owner to do it, but it relies on the fact that you've got all these systems set up so that you can not only create the content, but you can share it around and you can start talking to the customers without spending hours a day on Facebook and things like that.